This is a question we can all ask. Are you qualified? Are you qualified for what God is asking of us? I look at the war in Ukraine right now, and all the men from 16 to 60, they just had to stay and have to make war. Are they qualified? What prompts them to be able to do it? There's something within them that stands up. There's something within them, and that's the qualification. So God is also looking for that qualification in you and me. So what would that be? Christ within me. You see, Christ within me brings a different dimension of myself to the front. It brings out a place where I cannot rely on anything of me. And it brings me to a place, and this is a beautiful place in life, complete dependency on God. I can't trust my skills. I can't trust my credentials, because none of those things work in this realm. In this realm of the Spirit, God needs one thing: a person who give themselves as a vessel of honor for the Master's use. So this is what I've seen in David's life. He was fighting Goliath, which was much greater than him. Different strategy, a different war. And this is what we are facing. It's a different war. People are not used to this kind of war. And you're going to be called up for this war. So what do I need for this? What do I need for this hour? Because it's not only the people in the Ukraine and Russia that's going to face it. No, my dear friend, the whole world is going to face this. I said the other day what is crisis in Ukraine, and really is at this moment. Around the world, the gas price for people are crisis. But people are going to feel it in different ways. So how am I going to be sustained through this all? So David and Goliath, when I look at him, David was never skilled. He was a young boy, and he was set apart, and God trained him. And this is in our journey with God as well. God trains us up if we give our life to him. So when he trained him, he set him apart. Well, the world called that rejection. But God calls that set apart for such a time like this. And he sets us apart, and he got David to be so focused, step by step. Yes, even in evil times, step by step. Don't put your eyes on the world, put your eyes on me. Don't focus on what man says, put your eyes on me. And he trained him to kill a lion. He trained him to kill a bear, because he knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. David, if you're not going to be completely dependent on me, you're not going to make it. Because yes, he's a giant, but God, the one who's in me, is greater than anything in the world. So many times we feel sorry for ourselves if we don't have what the world have. I mean, I just speak to my family, and they have 7 hours a day, no electricity. Here I sit in Los Angeles, California area, and I mean, life is good for everyone here. I can quickly go into, oh, what about us, Lord? No, God says, I'm training you up. I'm training you up to be dependent on me. I'm training you up to be strong in the Lord and his might and his power. We all need to do that. Doesn't matter where you stay. So maybe for a moment, David felt not good enough. If you put yourself in his shoes, but then God says, no, it depends on what you look upon, because you become what you gaze upon. If you gaze upon my own abilities, you'll never be able to do it. But I want you to look into my eyes and find the treasure within. Now, there's a battle in everyone's life, and we all going to experience it different forms. So this is not even a story about David and Goliath. It's a story about you and me. So this simple dependency upon God is the key that I want to put in your hand in these evil times that we live in. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 7 says, but we have this treasure in an earthly vessel. It's a treasure. And it excel all power, and all this excellent power comes from God in us and not of us. You see, this treasure spoken in this verse talks about Christ in us, God within us, his power, his strength, his ability, this fountain of life within us. The fountain, he said to the Samaritan woman, unless you drink of this water, unless you drink of this fountain, unless you open up this fountain, unless life start pouring out of you, you will not have life. So all the treasures in heaven, all the gifts of heaven, his whole kingdom belongs to us. And he wants us to open up that kingdom because that's ours. It's ours. It doesn't belong to the world. It's ours as children of God. We can own that. And we don't need to feel, I live in Africa. It's not for me. It's for us around the world. Doesn't matter where you live. You can be in a bunker in Ukraine right now. The kingdom of God is upon you. The kingdom of God is within you. Christ within us. His might, his power, his strength, his resurrection power. And that's mine and yours right now. And this is the hour where this treasure is going to flow. But for who? Those who truly depends on him. It's so beautiful. I just love that. So I've seen many a time how God in 1 Corinthians 1:27 says, but God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. You see, God is looking for men and women whose hearts are dependent on him. It's not your credentials. It's not where you live. It's nothing than that. You can be in the worst situation right now, in the most evil relationship. He's looking for men and women who find dependency, true dependency on God, and God will make a way. And I speak it over you today. God will make a way. He is the one that we need to put our eyes on. You become what you gaze upon. Make sure your heart is depending upon the Lord in every area of your life. So with that, I want to bless you today. This is the key. God, I surrender. God, I need you. My whole life depends on you and you alone. God's kingdom is upon us. God's kingdom within us. Let's walk by faith and not by sight. My dear friend, I bless you today with a wonderful, wonderful day in the presence of the Most High God.